Hi, this is Ray from Whitney Automotive, and this is our 2006 Mazda 3 Trash or Treasure project. In the first episode, we brought the car home. In part one of the second episode, we did the right side engine mount, and we're just about to do the second side engine mount, the left engine mount, which is on top of the transmission. So here we go. Today on Ray's driveway, we're doing engine mount number 2. So this is another job where we're not going to be using a whole bunch of tools. All I need out is a flathead screwdriver, a pair of needle nose pliers, a 10mm socket with a ratchet. I'm going to be using my impact gun on this. If you do not have an impact gun, you're perfectly fine doing it by hand. It's just going to take a little bit longer. Short extension and a 17mm impact socket, plus a floor jack. Okay, so just like with the last engine mount we did, you're still going to have the engine supported from the bottom. If you haven't taken the splash shield off, then you need to do so. I'll put another link to the video that I've done on that before up in the corner of the screen. After you get the splash shield off, you may have a better idea of being able to inspect it from the bottom. Now again, it's hard to see this mount from the bottom. It's hard to see if it's cracked from the bottom because generally the cracks appear on the top. You can't see anything from the top. But let me go ahead and show you what we can see from the bottom. Slide underneath. And from the bottom, just above the axle, you can see right where I'm shining my light, that is the bottom of the engine mount. You can see the crack in this one, but it's not as evident as you would expect, especially as evident as it will be from the top. Alright, now just like with our last engine mount, on this engine mount we're going to support the bottom side of the engine. In order to do that, I'm going to use just a block of wood on my floor jack. I'm going to put it right here on the trans oil pan. Again, I'm not trying to crush anything, I'm just supporting the engine, so I'm just doing it until it touches. In order to get access to the top of the mount, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to remove our airbox and our battery tray. In order to do that, the first thing we're going to do is remove the cover from the top of the battery. You see, this one's been around the block a few times. There used to be a little clip here and a clip here. Pop those, and those will come right out of the way. This air ram right here, this feeds air directly to the battery box. The battery box is also connected to the PCM, so this is kind of important. If you don't have it, I'd recommend you replace it. There's normally and originally would be a little screw right here, a little screw right here, and a little screw right here. There's only one remains, so this one's going to pull right out. All you had to do was remove the one right here if it was still in place. Now we have access to our battery box as if we were changing our air filter. This is going to be really simple to do. Of all the air boxes you do, you probably won't find an easier one. Originally there was a little black rubber band right around, can you see that a little bit there? There was a little black rubber band right around here. You would just pull on that and that would come loose. That just kind of held everything together. That's missing. We're going to remove the airbox clips. We have one right here, one right here, one right there, and one back there under this hose. Okay, so we'll just go pop, 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 and pop. All right, we're going to take this hose right here. Oops. Take this hose right here out of the clip right there. This fresh air hose right here, we're just going to pinch the blue sides of it and pull it outward. All right, nothing hard so far. Mass airflow sensor connector. I'm going to push down on the back of the tab and pull it out. Be gentle with this. They were common for problems. All right, and now we need to loosen up this clamp right here. It's either got a 10mm head or a Phillips head screw. So we will grab our 10mm socket and loosen that up. You don't have to take it all the way out, just loose. Now the top of our airbox is free and out of the way. Now we can get to our engine mount, or our engine air filter, I'm sorry. Take out the air filter. And the only thing holding in the bottom side of the box, if you took this original rubber band off, is the box itself. So just, oh, pull up on it. As you can see, you should probably keep your hands free because my clip went down in that air duct and now I have to fish it out. All right, flash forward to the future here. I took out the airbox over there and you can get a peek at our throttle body. This car again had stalling issues and drivability issues. If we look down in there, let me see if I can get a light down in there at all. You can see just how badly covered in oil deposits and carbon this intake is. So we'll be addressing that in a future video. Stay tuned for that one. Now with our airbox out of the way, we're going to be removing our battery tray and our battery so we can gain access to the other part of the mount. We can get to these two mount nuts right here, but we need to get to the rest of it. To do that, first thing we're going to do is take off this PCM cover. There used to be clips on it, but like I said, this car's been apart a few times. So just a little wiggle, but we used to have clips retaining it. Okay, now we need to take off our 10mm nut right there, and our 10mm nut right here, and then our battery cables. Let's do that right quick. Up and out. Alright, take our cables off. Now your negative cable is going to have a little portion of the box here that it's clipped into, so you can just pull that out of the way as well. Tuck it over here. We can grab our battery, lift it up. Alright, this is what we're left behind with. There are 3 bolts that hold the battery box in, 1, 2, 3. It's likely that they are covered in battery acid, so protect yourself if you suspect that they are. They're not too hard to get out other than that, so we're just going to pop those out right quick. Now we need to loosen up our PCM. This is our PCM right here. These are the 2 connectors that go on the PCM. I like to leave the PCM bolted to the box and take the whole box out of the car. In order to do that, it's actually pretty simple. All you have to do is, these are the 2 connectors. They have these 2 white retaining brackets on them. You have to just stick a little pocket screwdriver. Don't pry hard, just pop it, and then you can pull the retainer up. Do the same thing on this side. And then we can pull our PCM connectors right off, unconnect them from this retainer there, and we're pretty loose now. Okay, going on to here, you can see our harness is connected here by these gray retaining clips. So I'm just going to take my needle nose pliers, reach in them and pinch these clips. And this ground wire here from the outside. Oops. Alright, so now I can pull this out of the car, put that aside, pull this harness over out of the way, and take our battery box right out of the car. And then we can see our engine mount. Alright, let's zoom in on that mount a little bit, and you can see the cracks all along here, all along there, and all along here that weren't really visible from the bottom. So now we can see them. Let's go ahead and get it out of the car. In order to do that, we're going to take out these 10mm nuts, and then these 17mm bracket bolts, and then the 17mm bolt in the middle. Again, we have to have the bottom of the transmission supported. 2 10s. And again, make sure the bottom of the engine or bottom of the transmission is supported. Now, some of these bolts came with a washer on them, some did not. They're 2 different types of bolts. They're 2 different torque specifications. So if you do have a washer on there, keep track of it. Let's take our bracket out. Then we can take our mount out. You can see just how badly broken this one is. It's almost in 2 pieces. So here is a side-by-side of our old mount and our new mount. Our old mount is completely broken, as you can see, cracked all the way around. Our new mount is solid 1 piece. Now this is an aftermarket mount, it's not OEM, so if they do look a little bit different, that is why. From the bottom side, again, it's a little bit harder to see that it was cracked, especially when the engine's supporting it on both sides, but on this one, it's brand new mount, so that's what's going in the car. Now, just like I did on the other mount, I'm going to go ahead and lubricate all of these bolts before I install the nuts on them, just because I like things to go smoothly. Again, my rust penetrant of choice is BG Products Enforce. Go ahead and drop the new mount in. We'll get the first mount bolt started. Now, before you go putting those nuts on, remember to put your bracket back on. There's all 4 of these started. We'll go ahead and get those tightened up. $10mm nuts, or I'm sorry, 10mm bolts. Don't forget those. Let's run them down in. Don't tighten this one yet, just the outside ones. In a crisscross pattern. And we'll tighten up our 10mm bolts as well. Okay, now don't run this bolt down, just get it bottomed out. If you're doing it by hand, just do it till it stops. So now before we torque this down all the way, we're going to remove the tension from the bottom of the engine by releasing the floor jack. So we're no longer touching the bottom of the transmission, and now we can properly torque down our top bolt. So that's it for the left side engine mount in this car. After you get it torqued down properly, just make sure you go ahead and reinstall the parts we took off in the opposite order in which we took them off, and you'll be ready to go. In the next part of this episode, we'll be doing the bottom side engine mount, or the torque mount. So if this video helped you at all, please like, subscribe to the channel, catch some of the other videos we have coming up. I appreciate it greatly, and thanks for watching. This is Ray's Driveway.